In a small, peaceful village surrounded by green fields and tall trees lived a young athletic boy. For him, life was a race, and success meant crossing the finish line first. The thought of losing never entered his mind. One day, the villagers decided to hold a running competition. The boy's eyes sparkled with excitement. It was his moment to prove that he was the fastest and the best. Two other young boys were selected to compete with him. The whole village gathered near the dusty track to watch the race. Among the crowd stood a wise old man who had traveled from another village after hearing about the talented young boy. He was calm and quiet, and his eyes were full of curiosity rather than excitement. Soon the whistle blew. The three boys ran with all their might, their feet pounding the ground. For a moment, they all were side by side, but then the young boy pushed harder. He was driven by his burning desire to win the race, and soon he crossed the finish line first. The crowd roared, people clapped and cheered his name. The boy raised his hands proudly, smiling with satisfaction. But among all the noise, that old wise man stood silent. He neither clapped nor smiled, he simply watched. The boy noticed him, but ignored it, thinking, "Perhaps he did not see me win." Soon, a second race was announced. Two new and stronger contenders stepped forward. Once again, the young boy prepared himself. His heart was full of confidence. He wanted to prove that his victory was no accident. The race again began, and once again he sprinted head faster than anyone else and crossed the finish line first. The crowd erupted in cheer louder than before. But again the old man remained still. He was quite thoughtful and unmoved. The boy could not hold his curiosity any longer. He approached the old man and said, "Did you see that? I won again." The old man nodded slowly and said nothing. The boy was eager for more praise. He called out, "Let's have another race. I want to run again." The old man smiled gently. "Very well," he said, "but this time I will choose your opponents." He turned toward the crowd and invited two new challengers for race. An old woman who walked with a stick and a blind man who stood uncertainly, the boy front. "These are my opponents. This is no race," he said. "They can't even stand properly. How will they run?" The old man ignored him and simply signaled to start the race. The whistle blew and the boy ran forward effortlessly and crossed the finish line in seconds. The old woman and the blind man remained at the starting point, unable to move. The boy raised his arm in triumph, expecting cheers. But this time there was silence, not even a single clap. The villagers looked disappointed. Even the children stayed quiet. Confused, the boy turned to the old wise man and asked, "Why is not anyone cheering for me? I still won." The old man looked into his eyes and said softly, "Race again, my friend, but this time finish together, all three of you." The boy stared at him. He was unsure what to do. After a moment, he walked back to the starting line. He stood between the old woman and the blind man. Gently, he took their hands. When the whistle blew, he began walking slowly, guiding them step by step. The path was long and uneven. The old woman stumbled several times. The blind man nearly fell a few times, but the boy held them tightly, supporting them both, until at last the three of them crossed the finishing line together. And then something magical happened. The crowd erupted into cheers. People stood and clapped with joy. Their faces were glowing with admiration. Children jumped and shouted his name. And this time the old man did not remain still. He smiled for the first time and nodded in approval. The boy gently turned to the old man and asked, "I don't understand. Who are they cheering for, me or them?" The wise old man placed his hands on the boy's shoulder and said, "My child, today the crowd is not sharing because you finished first, but because you finished together. When you ran alone, you won the race, but when you helped others complete the race, you won people's hearts. In life, if you run only for yourself, then one day you will find yourself running alone. But when you help others move forward, you will never walk without meaning and never finish life empty. The boy stood silent, his pride replaced by humility. For the first time, he realized that winning is not everything. True victory lies in compassion, in lifting others when they fall, and in reaching the finishing line together. That day, the young boy learned something he would never forget. The race of life is not about finishing first. It is about how many you help along the way. In our own lives, we often measure success by numbers. How much we earn, how high we rise, how many people we surpass. But the true measure of a meaningful life is not how fast we reach the destination, but how many people we uplift along the way.